Yo, wagwan everyone, listen up. The Age of Rationality is coming to an end, people. It's almost finished. How can this be, you scream? What do you mean, Catman? AI is gonna bring rationality to an end. Dreaded, much feared AI. But we're not here to fearmonger about it today. We'll explore some possible outcomes, but I'm not too interested in weighing up whether it's a good or a bad thing in this video. AI will blur the lines between reality and fiction. You look at AI right now, I don't know about you, but I can tell the difference between real life and AI easily. Usually it's blatant. Some examples are more subtle, sure, but mostly you can tell it a mile away. For now you can discern the difference. But soon enough it will progress to the point where you can't tell the difference. Everyone knows this point will come, but I don't know if many really are considering the consequences of this. Anything you see or hear on the internet or on the TV or whatever you hear over the phone, you won't be able to tell if any of it is real or not. You'll go on social media and you'll see yourself doing some crazy shit like climbing to the top of a mountain, and all your friends think that's actually you and are congratulating you in the comments. And even those friends might not even be your real friends, you know what I mean? Everything perfectly replicable on the online plane. Everyone will be accused of cancel-worthy crimes, and yet no one will get cancelled, because nothing can be believed anymore. And you know, I've touched on this briefly before, but I've been thinking about the ramifications of it all further. The internet will become pure chaos, seemingly unusable at first, but really, it will remain a necessary thing for us. Taking internet away from humanity is a huge nerf in the sharing of information. So instead, really, we're gonna have to adapt. And to do that, we're gonna have to forsake rationality. And I don't mean get rid of it entirely, but it will become useless for it to remain as our monolithic mode of thought. I think in a certain sense, this is probably necessary. Rationality, it does hold us back. We wish to attain understanding of everything. We study the great and the small in this pursuit. But at a certain point, there's only so far that our lens can see because we are 3D man. We wish to grapple with the 4D, the 5D, and beyond. But simply, we cannot understand these things with rationality because at the end of the day, rationality is 3D logic. We can't understand what is beyond 3D using 3D logic. It's absurd to try, and even more so, it's absurd to believe that 3D logic is the extent of all things, that we have the perfect microscope to understand the foundations of existence. I think that this plunging into the chaos AI world where nobody can any longer know what's true about anyone or anything, it will force us to adapt. And it's probably a necessary step in us being able to grapple with things currently beyond our understanding. Because if you let quote-unquote truth die, then you become open to other modes of interpretation, other lenses. We can start attaining schizo knowledge, just as it should be. And you know, maybe you're thinking that people can just not use the internet if they so choose and live a life of rationality out in the real world. But the problem with that is that the internet and media does influence real life and everyone's opinions and attitudes tremendously. They might try to live a life much the same as before, but they're gonna have to contend with the narratives and outlooks people have gained from being online. Maybe they'll even be influenced by them. Maybe they'll simply shut out everything. But that's not really a rational thing to do either, I don't think. To ignore everything that's going on around you. Rationalists might make communes out in the woods, returning to nature. Imagine that. It will be the rationalists who are the kooky ones out in the woods trying to escape society. Enjoy rationality while you can. It's becoming outdated. From this point on, we're going to be making breakthroughs by visions again. Just like the good old days. We're going to be working off knowledge bestowed to us in a dream. At a certain point, the most rational thing to do is abandon rationality. There's obviously going to be a lot of struggle against this, and really you can already see it with how anti-AI a lot of people are. We're living within the death rattles of rationality right now. I can see everything going absolutely haywire as the real transition takes place. There'll obviously be an attempt at control from the powers that be. I can see it going either way really. It's possible that they will try to delay it as much as possible, as it's something that threatens them if people forsake rationality. If everyone fundamentally knows that they cannot trust any information being delivered to them by, say, the news, or just information at large, nothing will really have any effect at all. So yeah, they may want to delay this, because with this, a lot of their puppeteer strings are cut. Alternatively, they may actually want this to happen and will attempt to declare themselves as the only ones who can be trusted to discern the truth. And if people believe them, then they're literally given the ability to manufacture whatever narrative or reality that they want. These are only possibilities though. In actuality, politicians, they're all old people whose brains have become solid and firm. You can't teach an old dog new tricks is what I'm saying. So if anyone is super attached to rationality, it's them. So it's very possible that they'll just be equally swept up in confusion, having no idea what to do. I guess it all depends on how cynical you are and how much you believe politicians to be malicious and nefarious masterminds. You know, sometimes I think if there is like a world shadow government or anything, I'm quite convinced that they're probably like middling IQ, not that smart at all. And they're just like prideful in their secret club. At the end of the day, they're just human beings, and probably old and senile ones at that. Unless you believe in some mad reptilian shit. Toss the last thing I said out the window if that's where you're coming from. March on, schizo warrior. Overall, the point is, we're gonna grow past this phase of squirming around, worrying, and not knowing what's real and what's not. We're gonna get to a point where ideas like real and fake don't even matter anymore. We'll just take in information, not prescribing truth or falsehood to it, but also not prescribing loyalty. There won't be many perspectives that define us. We won't be so influenced by information as to where we wear it like clothes. We will be able to pick information up, consider it, and put it back down. We'll be able to turn ways we've gained to look at things on and off like a switch. Really, this is the death of monotheism. It's the death of one-way thinking. It'll be a major step forward in the freedom of thought. That's my opinion anyway. Maybe the world will actually just explode and I'm chatting shit. But man like Catman got a positive outlook on things, you get me? Things be lining up crazy as well, you know. I'm noticing the patterns. The Age of Aquarius started recently. You look up what the Age of Aquarius entails and it's all about innovations in communication. And you know, you've seen a lot of that recently with the internet generally. And then also if you look up what it represents, it tells you it represents a new era of human consciousness, often associated with positive change and societal transformation. And that shit's exactly what I've been saying. Shit's about to get wacky, trust. This adaptation we will make to live in this sea of chaos, this unpinning ourselves from monotheistic thought, it will lead to an awakening, maybe you could even say an evolving of our consciousness. Untethered and free from rigid mental structures, our ability to explore will be free to thrive. There's going to be a lot of fear-mongering about it, such is the case whenever change happens, especially change of this caliber. Really, I think it will be epic all in all. It will be a very interesting thing to live through regardless. I don't think that can be denied. But yeah, I guess that's about it for this video. Subscribe to the Catman Show, leave a like, leave a comment. Goodbye.